Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Friday, so that means it is a mixed media mayhem day today. So I'm scrapbooking this photo of my husband, and I am using the Grease Monkey collection from Photoplay because he is with his motorcycle right here. I've also got some pretty cool embellishments from Some Assemblage Required, so let's see what I can do. Guys, I am so sorry. I neglected to talk about the inspiration for the Mixed Media Mayhem. And this is posted in the Mixed Media Mayhem Facebook group. It was picked by Scrappy Kathy. I don't remember exactly who did the inspiration piece, but it is very pink and girly is how I'm remembering it, and this is definitely not pink and girly. So I also have this sheet of paper, and this is the one that I'm working on is not part of that Paper House collection, or not Paper House, Photoplay collection. It is from another company, and I don't know who it's by because I'm not seeing the, there it is. It's We Are Urban Chic. So it's definitely an older paper. So what I did was I took my stencil, my diamond plate stencil from Scrapping Reflections, and I used some really old silver Heidi Swap texture paste through it. So you can kind of see it on there, but this was a very white paper and I wanted to unwhite it, right? It needed to be not white. So I grabbed two different spray inks. One is a Distress Oxide in Gathered Twigs, and the other is a Brutus Monroe Chroma Mist in Cider. I think the Cider one was probably a limited fall release, but that's what I got going on there. So I sprayed all over because I wanted to unwhite that paper, and then I took a paper towel and just lightly went over the top. Now I did not wait for my texture paste to completely dry, and some of it came up on the paper towel, but not a lot. You can still totally see that it's diamond plate, and I'm digging the way it looks. Now in the inspiration layout, there were a lot of torn layers, and things were, you know, rolled up a little bit, and it was a beautiful layout. It has teacups on it and tags. It was beautiful, right? But the photo that I wanted to scrapbook today was this photo of my husband. So yeah, and probably because I have motorcycles on the brain because I just did my motorcycle safety course, and basically I need a motorcycle to practice on so I can actually get my license, my full license. Yeah, Washington's different than California. California, you take a safety course, you pass, you get your license. Washington, you take the safety course, you get your permit, then you get your license. So, yeah, a little bit different here. But his bike is not very comfortable for me to sit on, so I've got motorcycles in the brain, looking at them, all kinds of things. So, might be why I wanted to do a motorcycle layout today. Probably. Anyway, so I decided to just do a couple layers, and that straight layer in between the two papers is actually, it looks like kind of tire tracks. So I thought that that was kind of cool. Most of that gets covered up, but I am totally okay with it. So I mapped my photo, and I'm going to go ahead and put that down on the layout. So in the inspiration piece, it kind of has embellishments up at the top, and they kind of cascade down all the way to the bottom. So my embellishments are starting up at the top, and they will go all the way to the bottom. You might look at my layout and look at the inspiration piece and not know exactly how I got there, but in my mind it works and I got there, so I am totally cool with it. Now I love this tag. It says, "I knew when I met you an adventure was going to happen," and it's a Winnie the Pooh quote. But I thought that this was awesome, and there were tags in that inspiration layout, so I figured I would definitely add that on to kind of just keep that going. This piece of ephemera said Big Man, and I didn't want Big Man on there, so I just cut it off and said Man. The acrylic pieces that I'm using are from MK's shop. It is some assemblage required, so be sure to check those out. This was last month's release. It was the June release, so I'm not sure what she still has over there in her shop for the June release. I don't know if it's been sold out. I'm sorry if it is. Honestly, I don't go checking websites where I get things when I tell you that that's where I got them from. I just don't. You could call me lazy or a jerkwad or whatever you want to call me, but I just don't, right? Like, I just don't. That's all I'm going to say about that. So anyway, I really like this little hook, so I was going to put that through the tag hole. And I was like, you know what? Because the hook has a hole in it, it still feels like a naked tag hole to me. So I am going to not have a naked tag hole and go ahead and put a little bow on there. As you can see, I have fully embraced my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive again now that it is back in the scrapbook room. I love the bigger bottle size. It's so good. So now I'm going to add my embellishment. So I've got different things that I want to do, different things I want to kind of cluster up. There are some things that I really want to make sure gets on this page, and some things, if it doesn't get on this page, it'll get on another one. Does that make sense? I want it to have this Dream Big Canvas Flare. That was in the embellishment box last month from Some Assemblage Required. I also want it the Mr. Fix-It embellishment piece because he did have to do some work on this bike before it was rideable. And I also want it to have this heart and that says "That's my man," and this ticket that said "Ticket to Ride." So I knew I had a couple pieces that I definitely wanted on the layout. Some of the other stuff just was a good that I got it on there. Do you know what I'm saying? So I am using a combination of ATG and Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to get my layout to stick together. And yes, that paper that I use the mixed media on is wet. I did not let it dry before I started creating my layout. Most of the time I don't have the patience to let my mixed media dry. I just don't, right? Like if I'm sitting down to scrapbook for a good amount of time, say I've got a couple of hours or I'm off one day in the middle of the week and I just got some time. I don't mind creating some mixed media, put it to the side, doing another layout and coming back to that. But if I just am sitting down to create my one layout a day or my one project a day that I try to do, I don't have time for that. So anyway, it is still damp. It's not sopping, wringing wet, but it is damp. So I am going to pop up the ticket. I do want dimension on this page, and there is going to be dimension on the page just for the simple fact that I am using dimensional embellishments. But I want some of my papers to be lifted up too. I don't want you to look at this page and be like, wow, all of your paper is flat, but all of your other stuff is popped up. Like, I don't want that. And I don't know if anybody would ever actually sit there and say that about a layout. I might say it about my own layout. I would never say it about anyone else's. But I just didn't want that to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And then I realized that I couldn't get my gears tucked in where I wanted them to with the pop foams behind my heart, so I had to adjust that a little bit. Now, you might be going, Sandy, you have just plunked down these embellishments, but I think that they look great the way that I have them. I didn't just throw them down. I put them in places where I think that they look good. And I don't think that all embellishments have to be tucked under things all the time or layered with other things all the time. I don't think your clusters always have to touch every item in your cluster. That doesn't always have to touch. Like, use your stuff, use your embellishments, use your papers, use your flowers, use your stars, use whatever, and use your butterflies if you want to. However you want to use them. And if you like things that don't touch, then don't make them touch. If you like things that always touch, then always make them touch. But there's no hard and fast rule, you guys. There was no hard and fast rule to do that. And some of my clusters and things are touching and some of them aren't. And that is okay too. I think sometimes in our heads, we just get so bogged down with, oh, that's not touching. Oh, that's not tucked. Oh, that's not. It doesn't matter. If you like the way it looks, add some adhesive to that bad boy and be done. Now, I was toying with the idea of taking that hammer and placing it over top of the pre-printed hammer on that sticker, but the hammer was a little bit bigger than I wanted it to be. It hung over the photo and I didn't want that. Even though I got other stuff on the photo, I didn't want that on the photo. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's layout. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.